What's up, dudes and dudettes of the internet? My name's Seth, and today I thought we would take a peek at the test server and what's coming to Trove, because in the recent patch notes I did kind of mention and hint at the fact that the game is going to be going even more pay to win, and there's quite a few things that are going to be changing with the core of the game. Lots of it's going to be really bad, while some of it's actually okay, but for the most part I noticed that on the general feedback of that patch, lots of people that don't actually, go onto the test server and stuff were actually wondering what was actually going to change. Now, there's a huge list of things that are going to be coming in this next patch. Like, it's going to be a very big one, but I thought we would focus on what I think is going to be the most detrimental pay-to-win stuff that's going to be coming to the game. Now, first and foremost, the patch mentions that most of the packs and everything like that are supposed to be going for credits only. I'm not really seeing a difference for any of these. I'm guessing because they still want to generally make raw cash from these purchases rather than having people be able to buy tradable credit pouches, right? Because that's kind of the whole direction that the game is going. And if I can just give you a quick summarize, if you don't have time to watch the entire video, it's pretty much that the direction that Trove is going to be going in is they want it so that pretty much everything out of the store is going to become untradeable, meaning that every individual player is going to have to buy an item with credits. Now, for free-to-play players, that means that you just have to buy credit pouches from somebody else in order to actually purchase the items. But the technicality of it is that someone had to spend money. And even to supply the free-to-play players, somebody had to spend some of their money. That's kind of the whole thing that's going on. So even with the credit updates, we've actually got these new things which everybody's been calling pancakes. They call them like Radiant Sovereigns, which honestly, who cares? I prefer to call them pancakes. They're kind of a ripoff as far as the cash shop is concerned, but it doesn't really matter because what Trove is aiming for is the cash whales. That's kind of what Trine Worlds and the entirety of their company and all the games that they ever ended distributing kind of equates their content for, is for people that can spend and drop thousands of dollars, not the average consumer, which, that's just their business decision, right? But needless to say, you can see for $50, you're going to get 10 of them. For $100, you're going to end up getting 25. I'll show what these end up allowing you to buy in a moment. But I did want to kind of put this point across that this sword right here, this Trove blade, lots of old school players, myself included, were a little bit frustrated about the fact that if you drop down $100, you can get this, because this was actually supposed to be an exclusive beta item. So just to kind of put that into perspective, folks, anything, like if there's one thing that I would say about the entirety of Trove since I've been playing it over like 2 or 3 years, every single item that is exclusive is not actually exclusive. It either gets thrown into the chaos chest or lazily gets thrown into a cash shop like pack or something like that, just for the sake of all it really says to me is we're lazy. We didn't want to come up with a new $100 sword that was actually worth it. Let's just throw in this old one that no one really cares about, right? Patron's also going to be changing quite a bit. Now, this is actually a very big deal because normally, you can end up getting like 30-day patron. Now you can only get 15-day untradable patron. Again, this kind of reiterates the point that I was trying to make, where free-to-play players are going to have to get the credits in order to purchase this item in itself. So you remember any of you that ended up checking out my recent video where I ended up getting my last fire dragon, and I was kind of just talking passively how credit pouches were actually the most beneficial thing to actually buy out of the cash shop as far as like the flux trading ratio, right? Well, this kind of resolves that. The devs actually pulled a fast one on all of us, and now rather than people buying tradable patron and then selling it, instead of buying credits and then selling those and then buying the tradable patron, now you can only just get the patron for the credits, and it's been bumped down to 15 days, down from 30. So they're really trying to push the whole idea that, yeah, you can play this game for free, but it's not really going to be easy. Like, it's going to be very difficult. The paywall has gotten a whole lot higher, and I honestly wouldn't be against paying for patron if I didn't think it was such a ridiculously overpriced. Like 131 American dollars for 1 year of patron. Knock that down to $100, because for me in Canada, that's close to $200. Like, I'm not going to spend that. Like, it's just not worth it. The gem section is pretty much the same. They kind of just moved everything over into this section. And technically speaking, again, because of the tradable credits, you can get like 9th lives and stuff like that. Okay, whatever. Chaos section, they kind of boosted up the amount of chaos chests that you're going to end up getting from this pack. I think, no, that's actually not this one. That's actually one of the weekly deals that honestly wasn't really worth it because it gave you like 60 chaos chests. Now it gives you like a full 70, so it's actually like triggers the karma bar, and it's kind of worth it so long as they didn't end up bumping up the price. But not really that much different with any of the other stuff. Tomes are going to have a huge change where legendary tomes are actually going to take 25 dungeons to complete, the same as any other normal tome. And that's actually really funny because I remember years ago I actually mentioned that and was talking about how like ridiculous it is that you had to, originally with legendary tomes, you had to complete 100 dungeons in order to actually trigger the effect. Now, for the average player, that was just impossible with the amount of legendary tomes that there are in the game. There was just, it was very, very difficult to do that many dungeons within a given week because that's like 500 dungeons just for 5 tomes. They've since halved that, so it's actually 50 dungeons right now on the live server, but then once this update comes out, it's going to be 25, so that's a good one. But, you know, I'm digressing. Just to further get to the point, they ended up having, they kind of swapped the vault style in, or vault section of the store and called it the style section. I can only assume that this is trying to trick people into thinking that the store is a little bit more packed than it is, because they actually put all of the costume packs and all the other normal mounts and stuff like that. And just to kind of, you know, be a bit more honest about things, again, I remember lots and lots of times myself and many other Trove'S have actually been asking, why don't you guys just have all of the stores available in your cash shop at all times? And they kept saying, no, we're not going to do that. We're never going to do that because it's too much work for us. Now it seems like they've done it. It's, you know, that's kind of what they keep doing, is they keep saying, we're never going to do this. And then they end up doing it a little bit later, right? But anyways, then we go over to the more section. And for some reason, these packs are thrown in here, even though this is actually just the flask section. But it also is now like for gold keys, which are still pretty useless for the most part. Spring pinatas and stuff like that, you know, and the signs, whatever. And then the class section is over here, as well as all of the packs for all of the classes. And as you can see, despite the fact that the patch itself does say that most of the packs and everything like that are going to be costing credits, obviously none of these are going to, because they want to make solid money from it. Now, as far as those pancake items are concerned, because I don't want to take up too much of your time, I'm aiming for a little bit under 10 minutes here. But if you come to the hub and you come all the way over here, usually he's over here anyways. Maybe he's been moved somewhere else, because unfortunately that NPC, yeah, he can still be moved around. He's like a new shop NPC. Oh, there he is. Maybe they ended up fixing it and I didn't check. I don't main PTS, but whatever. So this is a Radiant Merchant. This is a little bit more what I'm talking about. I like the fact that they actually have like something worth going to the hub for, but I still would very much think it would be really cool if they allowed clubs to actually take these NPCs and put them in our club worlds. I think that would be really, really cool. But this guy, he's a bit, you know, are we sure we like this? I don't know. This is the big one. This is the big one right here, because the pancakes make it so that you can actually pay your way through to getting Empowered Gem boxes, Titan treasures, which give flux, by the way, and gold chaos chests, party animals, like, and pinatas and stuff, meaning that everything about Trove is pay to win now, you know? Outside of maybe just grinding for normal gems. That's one of the only things that still hasn't actually changed yet, but the devs have talked about how they are going to end up changing the normal gems for a little bit, a lot of things are going to be changing with those gems, but we won't talk about those today, because most of all I wanted to focus on this pay to win stuff. Is Trove becoming too pay to win? You know, there's lots of people that I've talked to about all of these updates and stuff, and especially the fact that the Empowered Gem boxes are pay to win. You know, on one hand, I can kind of agree with that, because it's like, why not just allow people to buy their way past it? But the fact of the matter is that we've already seen how bad the random number generation is on all of these boxes and stuff. And whenever I tease the fact, like Trove's Magic Find, for example, I just want to make a quick little point here, so excuse me, but Magic Find in every other video game is actually designed like a proper system, where it's like, take Diablo for example. They actually have a system in place where the 1% of people that never get a legendary drop actually have an invisible karma bar, let's call it, that is slowly filling up during your playtime, more and more and more, until eventually, bang, you guaranteed get a drop, right? Now, Trove technically has their karma bar, so that's kind of the equivalent of that. But the fact of the matter is that they don't have it on enough of the boxes. Like the Empower Gem boxes, for example, there should be a karma bar. Even if they made it like 200 boxes to open or something like that. The fact of the matter is that this is an item that free-to-play players can only get so many a week because you get it for Lunar Souls, right? And now people can just buy their way past the wait time. As you know, that's like, it's like at least if these things were just grindable for you, like grinding through the shadow towers and stuff like that, that would be okay. And technically speaking, you know, maybe this isn't as bad as I think it is, but you got to understand, folks, that while a lot of you are new to the game and coming into it and kind of are like, oh, you know, that's probably not that big a deal. You know, it's like most games are pay to win this way anyways, and technically you can still get all this stuff for free. So how bad is it really? But the fact of the matter is that a lot of these things the devs have said they would specifically never do, and also I've grown with this game, and just to see like these huge changes only coming to the game way later, like in the late game now, where clearly they're just trying to capitalize on the player market and what's going, well, player market on the market of people that are actually playing their game and paying and stuff like that, but also kind of pigeonholing our purchases. You know, that's what I would deem as not really okay. You know, because Titan Treasures, for example, that's actually a big one, because that means any pay-to-win cash whale player is going to be able to buy enough pancakes. Like, if you spend $100, you can get 25 Titan Treasures. Now, potentially, because it's random number generation, that is a lot of flux. You know, which means that the player market is going to crash. Everything is going to be extremely overpriced, and free-to-play players aren't going to be able to keep up. It's as simple as that. Same with the Gold Chaos chest. You know, that's just, I mean, granted, most of that stuff that's in the Gold Chaos chest is untradeable anyways, so that's okay. But it does mean that pay-to-win players are going to be able to boost themselves up in the mastery department, you know, while free-to-play players are going to be stuck behind. And the pinata as well, that's just... that one's about time. Like, that one I kind of like. It's a little bit overpriced because only 5 for one pancake. I mean, seriously. But anyways, folks, I don't want to ramble on too much about this. Like I said, I wanted to keep this video a little bit shorter. I see that I've rambled on longer than I intended to. Thank you so much for watching, though. Let me know your, opinion on this in the comments below, because this is something that I think is a very interesting topic for us to all discuss here. You know, do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? Do you think some features are okay? Some of them are a bit too far? What do you think about that? Because I've had, generally, I've had lots of people saying that they're just going to end up quitting the game, or people that are just saying, well, that's okay because I don't buy anything anyways, and they're just playing the game for the vanilla factor. Now, myself personally, I don't really have anything against pay to win. You know, it's not that I have anything against people that would even take advantage of these situations and these new things that are coming to the store. I just think that it's a little bit too shady on the devs' part. I think they're making it a bit too obvious that all they're interested in is our money, you know, because especially for a player like myself that has been playing this game for such a long time, then suddenly it's like all that work and all of the grinding and stuff that I've been doing is just thrown aside for somebody that's going to be willing to spend a couple $1,000s on this game, you know, and it's like, with the internet being the way that it is, like, that's not, you know... it's just whatever. But anyways, you know, it's not that I play this game for that status or anything like that. I just think that it's very unfortunate that it's going in this direction. And, I mean, well, that's just kind of my 2 cents about it. But thanks so much for watching, everybody. Let me know what you all think. Don't forget to like, share, favorite, and subscribe for more daily content. Sign on and stay epic, everybody.